Dr. Chestrop is here. Welcome to my chess clinic. Today we will talk about the Kan variation. You remember there was a special, very strong goalkeeper from Germany. His name was Ilya Kan. You can say, oh, Ilya Kan was playing soccer or football, and at the same time, this variation in chess was named by him. Now, this variation is named by Soviet Union master Kan. So, but there are big similarities. Oliver Kahn was a extremely strong, fascinating goalkeeper from Germany who could cough lots of goals and could, let's say, create a spider net, and no one could do anything against it. He was extremely aggressive as a goalkeeper as well. Just check, in a good way, of course. The defense, attacking style goalkeeper who wouldn't give any attacker a chance, any ace the chance to score a goal. So the counter variation has the similarities because it's, very annoying, can create that kind of spider net. And I know that lots of club players struggle against it. So let's try to understand what the counter variation is first. E4, c5, knight f3, pawn e6, d4 takes, knight takes d4, pawn a6. Plays with the pawns only, no development. The main idea is to not allow white to do anything active, like knight b5 or bishop b5 check, so this knight will never dream about getting to the d6 square. And black is trying to be flexible. They can play knight or with d6. They can bring both knights. They can play knight c6 immediately, queen c7, which will be a pulse, and we will talk about it later. They can try to push the pawn to b5 immediately as well in some scenarios, and then bring the bishop to b7. That's going to be quite interesting too. So, and the main trick is that if white plays the normal way, white can get a very bad position very fast and can lose the game as well. So let's try to understand what to not do first. What you mustn't do, which a lot of players do, 6 times more than the line that I will propose you to play, is the move knight c3. You can say, okay, we're just trying to do the Yugoslav attack, bring the knight out, then the bishop to e3, queen d2, long castle. What's wrong with it? Is it like b5? No, it's not. The main problem with this knight c3 and then the later usual setup is that after queen c7, bishop to e3, we can try to do the move a3 in order to prevent bishop before you will see this. Now, and then after b5, our position is a bit passive, we'll develop the pieces out. And again, with the pawn on a3, it's going to be quite tough to do a long castle, because later, whenever we will do a long castle, let's say like this, bishop e7, long castle, d4 takes, again, the c file is open, the a file is partially open, there is this annoying pin. Black will get what they want. They will get this annoying position. So, but let's try to understand the main line, which is played a lot, the main bad line, let's say. Bishop to e3. And after this, black will not play d6. They'll just do bishop b4, pinning the knight. We can say, okay, well, I'm going to play Yugoslav attack because this exchange is nothing. We have 2 bishops, which will compensate to the double pawns. We have a control over the dark squares. But after queen d2, there is knight f6. Now black wants to capture the pawn on e4 because this knight is pinned. We will lose the queen. That's why we need to play bishop d3 or f3. But we know that if we want to play the Yugoslav attack, there's no need to bring the light squared bishop out. It's going to be on the way. f3 is much better. Later, g4, h4. And then all of a sudden, black plays the move d5. You're like, what's this? No d6, immediate d5. The main problem, the main issue is that the knight is pinned. We can't do much. If we capture, knight takes d5. And now c3 is hanging. We can't castle. Our best move is knight e2, after which black has tons of ways to get a better game. Immediate knight c6, short castle, or just capturing on e3, then short castle, long castle d5. This is not your Yugoslav attack. This is much better position from the Sicilian for black. 2 bishops, good center, safe king. We don't have our pawn on e4, which could help us to control the game and organize an attack. We don't have the dark squared bishop, which was really good in the defense but could attack as well. Later, black will bring the bishop to b7, knight c6 or d7, then use the c and d files. Black has a very comfortable game. And it's very easy to lose immediately, to lose some material. We can say, okay, we're going to be stubborn, insist on Yugoslav attack. Let's just do long castle. We are ready to sacrifice this pawn, etc., etc. Instead, black plays the move pawn e5. You're like, oh, this is something new again. And we need to bring the knight back, then pawn d4. We lost one of our pieces, and like this, you can lose countless games. So now the question is, what to do as white? What can we do if we can't do the Yugoslav attack? My usual advice is that if black doesn't play dragon, two knights, or the Richter router variation, then Najdorf, when in all of those positions they play like d6, they usually close this bishop, even in Scheveningen, which was like d6, here, takes, knight f6, knight c3, e6. This pawn is on d6 already. The bishop is closed. Then play on the king side, do the Yugoslav attack. Here it is different. This bishop is going to get out to b4, attack us, crush our dream of the diamond formation on the queen side, and we will get a worse game. That's why instead of doing knight c3, we just play bishop d3. Seems a bit strange that we develop the bishop, but the main idea is to defend the pawn on e4. And then after queen c7, knight c6 is a normal move for black too, after which we can just move the knight away or just capture and then do like knight d2. Here, the center is not as strong for black because we can do short castle and then counter with the move c4. Black spent some time doing like e6, a6 now, which is completely unnecessary for now. And after d4, we will play e5. We will get, our space advantage as well. White's position is usually better because we have very good development. But I want to focus more on the move queen c7 because most of the players will insist on the counter variation. Still, they'll try to go for like knight c3, knight f6, bishop e3. Black will hope that this will happen eventually. And then let's say queen d2, either immediate d5 and then e5, d4. But we know after d takes, knight captures, d5 will happen. Or they will do short castle, waiting for a long castle, and then d5. And again, we have the same issue. We will have, the same problem again and again and again. It's like a chronic issue on our end when we do long castle. So after queen c7, white does the move short castle. I know it's rare, but in some scenarios, we will not do the traditional medicine. Very rare. We will not do that. We will try to get a bit out of the prescription. So instead of long castle and doing the pawn storm, we will do short castle now because this bishop is very annoying. Black has different ways to play, like knight out, bishop here, pawn to b5. I just want to tell you that your main plan will be to take as much space for white as possible and then organize an attack on the king side and the center, but in a bit specific way. And if you see immediate b5, just play a4. Try to go for the game on the queen side if you can get like a very weak pawn over here, or after b4 you can do c3, takes knight c3. The engine doesn't like this position for black at all because white will do very fast development. The queen is always under attack. Some knight jumps can be there, but also you can try f45, f5 just to push those pawns and create a very powerful game in the center as well. The main setup for black is usually the move d6. Now this bishop is closed, so the bishop will not annoy us anymore. And then we do pawn c4. We will try to get as much space control as possible. d5 square, so black will never do d5, and also the move b5. So b5, bishop b7 is not there anymore. And after c4, let's say black goes knight f6, we play knight c3, bishop e7, and now king to h1. We are waiting for short castle, after which there are so many interesting and unique setups. You can play immediate f4. After knight d7, bishop e3, or even pawn g4. This was suggested by the Stockfish. The game is not that open. I know this is very risky. The diagonal is semi-open there, but we're trying to crush him faster. So again, let's try to disturb our opponent's king. Let's make him to have a panic attack one more time when we push the pawns. And you just do g5, knight e8, pawn f5, queen to h5, f6, g6. And if he goes e5, be very happy. Now your knight will jump to d5. And just look at this art. Knight to c6. Attacking the queen, attacking the bishop. The queen is trapped. So it's a fantastic position for white. There are some other ways to play as well. For example, you can do bishop e3, and then let's say knight c6, rook c1, with the idea to do f4, but in some cases, knight d5. Remember about this plan too. Takes, c takes, the knight is pinned, white will win. A pawn at least, white's position is strategically winning. But also you can, try to do bishop e3 or f4 and then bishop e3. And let's say black goes for, or queen e2, doesn't matter. Black goes for b6. Now bishop to e3 or bishop to d2. Bishop d2 is also quite good. And then pawn b4. Again, to get as much space as possible to cover almost all the squares on the fifth rank. And then bring the rook to e1, push the pawn to e5, or push the pawn to f5. In some scenarios, g4, g5 as well. In some cases, we will even do knight d5 and then open up the position, open up the files with this knight sacrifice. And if a5, you just a3, and then your knight will jump to b5, which is much better for you. And the final way to play as white, which you can do by immediate f4, knight d7, or like here, is the plan to play b3 at some point. Sure, there is an annoying b5, but if you can, after b5 takes, queen c3 is there. But if you can do this at the right moment, and let's say like we'll do knight c5, bishop goes back to c2 here, and then bishop b2, and then later queen e2, and then at some point rook f3, and then rook g3 or rook h3, this is going to be, very bad. For example, rook goes to c8, rook goes to f3, some random knight to d7, maybe he's scared of e5, and then rook h3. Pawn g6, there can be a move like knight d5. Takes. You will sacrifice one piece, but then you'll just try to go for the checkmate. Here, knight f5. Check the lines with the stockfish. I'm just tossing the ideas around. And then here, rook g3 check. If knight g4, then queen takes, and we will do a very beautiful checkmate with the queen, with sacrificing the queen, doing with the rook and the bishop. He goes king h8, then queen h5, then bishop f5. So can be quite interesting. Of course, we can do it, much more simple. Just play like a rook h3, g6, and play like a rook f1. Try e5, f5. The sacrifices will work. In some cases, g4, g5. White has a really, really strong position. So, to summarize, Kan variation, the spider web, to not allow us to do the traditional Yugoslav attack, Keres attack, pushing the pawns, do the pawn storm, do the queen side castle. Remember, this is a unique position where you mustn't play knight c3. Just go for bishop d3, defend the pawn, and after queen c7, do short castle. And then it's very important to push the pawn to c4. Grab as much space as possible. Bring your pieces out. Do king h1, just a precaution. And then start an aggressive game after short castle, f4. Then you will decide. Bishop goes to d2 or e3 or b3. Bishop b2 or rook to f3 or queen f3, g4, g5 or f5 or e5. Countless options. It's like, okay, I did the barbecue, but now I need to, choose the sauce. Will it be the barbecue sauce or the ranch or, I don't know, cheese sauce or something else? It's up to you. So we made the barbecue. We got the prescription. We did everything correct. Our king is not in danger on the queen side. The spider web is completely annihilated, destroyed. And this is the prescription against the Kan variation. So hope that you enjoyed it, and the video will help you to have good games against the Kan variation. We will see each other in the next steps of anti-Sicilian series for white. And please like, subscribe, and leave your comments, and I'll see you in the future chapters. Have a fantastic day.